The worst part wasn't catching her with another man. It was watching her look me in the eyes and still expecting me to apologize. The restaurant went silent. Forks stopped moving. People stared. And there she was, Sophia, my girlfriend of 4 years, standing beside another man with her hand still wrapped around his arm, looking annoyed at me for ruining her night. Then she said the sentence that finally killed something inside me. Ethan, stop being dramatic. I remember blinking slowly, because after everything I sacrificed for her, after every time I begged, every time I blamed myself, every time I forgave her, she genuinely believed I would do it again. She thought I would break first. Again. But this time, I was already done, and she had absolutely no idea. Chapter 1. The girl who felt like home. Before Sophia destroyed me, she was the safest place I knew. We met when we were both 22. I was broke, working double shifts at a small electronics store. Sophia was studying marketing while working at a cafe downtown. She had this laugh, the kind that made bad days feel survivable. And God, the way she looked at me back then, like I actually mattered. We built our relationship from nothing. Cheap noodles, late-night walks, sharing one umbrella during storms because we couldn't afford Uber rides. There were nights we sat on the roof of my apartment building, eating gas station snacks and talking about the future. Marriage, kids, a little house near the water. Sophia used to hold my hand and whisper, "We're going to make it someday." And I believed her. Every word. When her father got sick, I stayed at the hospital with her for 3 nights straight. When she lost her internship, I gave her money I couldn't afford to lose. When her anxiety got bad, I held her while she cried in my chest at 3 a.m. I became her emotional home. And slowly, without realizing it, I stopped being my own. Chapter 2. The first cracks. Toxic relationships don't begin with screaming. They begin with small wounds. Tiny things, easy to excuse. At first, Sophia just became colder. Longer replies, less affection, more irritation. Then came the comparisons. Why can't you be more ambitious like Daniel? You're too sensitive sometimes. You overthink everything. Little cuts. Every day. And somehow, I always ended up apologizing, even when she hurt me. Especially then. One night, I surprised her with dinner after she had a stressful week. Candles. Her favorite pasta. Flowers. She walked into the apartment, looked around, and sighed. You seriously spent money on this instead of saving? I remember standing there holding the flowers like an idiot, trying to smile, trying not to feel hurt. I just wanted to make you happy. Well, now I feel pressured to react a certain way. That sentence stayed with me, because somehow, my love kept becoming an inconvenience to her. But every time I pulled away, she reeled me back in. She'd cry, hold me, kiss my face. I am sorry, Etan. I've just been stressed. And I forgave her. Every time. Because I loved who she used to be, not who she was becoming. Chapter 3. The Toxic Friend. Then came Vanessa. Every toxic relationship has someone feeding poison into it. Vanessa was Sophia's best friend. Single, manipulative, always surrounded by drama. She hated me immediately. Not openly. No, people like Vanessa are smarter than that. She smiled while destroying things quietly. One night at a party, I overheard her talking to Sophia on the balcony. You spoil him too much. Sophia laughed softly. He spoils me too much. That's worse, Vanessa said. Men stop being attractive when they become too available. I felt my stomach drop. Sophia didn't defend me. She just stayed quiet. And from that point on, everything changed faster. Sophia started testing me constantly, ignoring my calls, posting photos with random guys, disappearing for hours, then acting annoyed when I asked questions. You're being controlling. That word, controlling. Meanwhile, she checked my phone constantly, questioned every female coworker, got angry if I took too long replying. The double standards were insane, but I kept trying harder. Because when you love someone toxic, you think effort can fix disrespect. It can't. It only teaches them how much pain you'll tolerate. Chapter 4. The Night of Humiliation. The first public humiliation happened at her birthday dinner. I paid for everything. Restaurant, decorations, cake, even the custom necklace she wanted. I spent nearly an entire month's savings. And for one moment, watching her smile, I thought maybe things were finally getting better. Then Daniel showed up. Tall, confident, perfect teeth. The kind of guy who knows he's attractive. Sophia lit up the second she saw him. Actually lit up, like she hadn't smiled that genuinely around me in months. She hugged him longer than necessary. Vanessa smirked from across the table. And then, Daniel handed Sophia a tiny gift bag. Inside was a bracelet. Expensive. Very expensive. Sophia gasped. Oh my God. Then she kissed him on the cheek. Right in front of me. The entire table got awkwardly quiet. I tried to laugh it off. Tried. But then Vanessa said, Wow, Ethan, tough competition. Everyone laughed lightly. Except me. Except Sophia. Because she saw my face. She knew I was hurt. And instead of reassuring me, she rolled her eyes. Please understand how painful that is. When the person you love sees your pain and becomes irritated by it. Later that night in the car, I finally spoke. That crossed the line. Sophia stared out the window. You embarrass me tonight. I looked at her in disbelief. What? You were acting insecure in front of everyone. You kissed another guy. It was a cheat kiss, Ethan. Grow up. I gripped the steering wheel harder. You would lose your mind if I did that. No, I wouldn't. That's a lie. Then silence. Cold, heavy silence. And suddenly she whispered, Maybe Daniel's just easier to be around. That sentence shattered something inside me. But not enough to leave. Not yet. Chapter 5, The Message. 3 months later, I saw the message. Not intentionally. Her phone lit up while she was in shower. And there it was. Daniel. I missed last night already. My chest tightened instantly. I stared at the screen. Heartbeat pounding. Hands cold. Then another message appeared. You looked so beautiful sleeping beside me. I felt physically sick. Like my body rejected reality. Sophia walked out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel and froze when she saw her phone in my hand. For 3 seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she sighed. Actually sighed, like I was exhausting her. You went through my phone. You stirred the hair. That's your response? You invaded my privacy. What the hell happened last night? She crossed her arms defensively. We drank too much. My voice cracked. Did you sleep with him? Silence. That silence told me everything. I felt my knees weaken. For years collapsed in one moment. Then she whispered. It just happened. No remorse. No panique. Just exhaustion. Like my heartbreak was inconvenient. I started crying. I couldn't help it. And Sophia looked uncomfortable instead of guilty. That's when you know love is dead. When your tears annoy them. You push me away emotionally, she said softly. I looked at her like I didn't recognize her anymore. I stayed at hospitals with you. Silence. I worked overtime to help you. Nothing. I gave you everything. Then she said the cruelest thing anyone had ever said to me. Nobody asked you to. And God, that hurt worse than the cheating. Chapter 6, The Breakdown. After that night, I lost myself completely. I still stayed. That's the pathetic part. People who've never experienced emotional dependency won't understand it. Your brain knows it's over, but your heart keeps begging for another version of them. Sophia became even colder after cheating. Like she respected me less for staying. And honestly, maybe she did. She stopped hiding Daniel completely. Late night texting, smiling at her phone, secretive calls. Then came the gaslighting. You're paranoid. You're too emotional. You're suffocating me. I became anxious constantly. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't eat. Every notification sound made my stomach twist. Then one night, everything exploded online. Vanessa uploaded a live stream from a rooftop party. Music blasting. People drunk. Laughing. And there in the background, Sophia sitting on Daniel's lap. Kissing him. Not a friendly kiss. Not confusion. Not alcohol. Passionate. Public. Intentional. Thousands of people saw it before Vanessa deleted it, including my co-workers, my younger sister, my mother. I still remember my phone vibrating nonstop. Messages flooding in. Bro, are you okay? This can't be real. You deserve better. I sat alone in my apartment staring at the screen while my entire body shook. Then Sophia finally called. Not to apologize. To blame Vanessa. Why are you ignoring me? I laughed. Actually laughed. It sounded broken. You humiliated me in front of everyone. It wasn't supposed to get posted. That sentence. That disgusting sentence. Not I'm sorry. Just regret about getting caught. I whispered, you don't love me anymore. And for the first time, Sophia didn't answer immediately. That silence destroyed me. Chapter 7. The Recording. A week later, I packed my things quietly. Not dramatically. No screaming. No begging. Just exhaustion. But before I left, I heard something by accident. Sophia was in the kitchen talking to Vanessa on speakerphone. And those next few minutes changed my life forever. Vanessa laughed. I told you he'd never leave. Sophia chuckled softly. He always comes back. My chest tightened. Then Vanessa said, you trained him too well. And both of them laughed. Laughed. Like my love was some pathetic joke. I stood frozen in the hallway, unable to breathe. Then Sophia spoke again. He's obsessed with me. Even if I marry Daniel someday, Ethan would still answer my calls. That sentence hit harder than the cheating, because suddenly, everything became clear. The manipulation, the emotional games, the punishments, the disrespect. She never feared losing me, because I taught her she never could. Something cold entered my body that night. Not rage, not sadness, clarity. I quietly recorded the conversation on my phone. Then I walked out without saying goodbye. And for the first time in years, I stopped chasing her. Chapter 8. Silence. Do you know what terrifies toxic people most? Silence. Not yelling. Not revenge. Indifference. Sophia texted me the next morning. Where are you? I didn't reply. Then, are you seriously ignoring me? Nothing. Calls. Voicemails. Paragraphs. I ignored everything. And suddenly, the power shifted. Days passed. Then weeks. I started rebuilding myself slowly. Gym. Therapy. Sleep. Reading again. Seeing friends I abandoned during the relationship. And the craziest part? The further I got from Sophia, the clearer I saw the abuse. Love should not feel like constant anxiety. Love should not destroy your confidence. Love should not make you beg for basic respect. One night, my friend Marcus looked at me during dinner and said, you look alive again. That hit me hard, because I realized how dead I had become with her. Meanwhile, Sophia spiraled. Mutual friends started telling me things. She fought constantly with Daniel. She stalked my social media, posted emotional quotes online, started drinking more. Then one night, I received an anonymous email. Attached was a video, a hidden recording from Vanessa's apartment. Sophia crying uncontrollably. I think I ruined the only person who ever actually loved me. I stared at the screen silently. Then she whispered something else. Something devastating. Ethan was the only man who made me feel safe. For a moment, my heart almost folded again. Almost. But then I remembered the laughter. You trained him too well. And the feeling disappeared. Chapter 9. Her regret. 3 months later, I saw Sophia again. Rainy evening. Grocery store parking lot. She looked thinner. Exhausted. Eyes swollen. And when she saw me, she froze. Like she'd seen a ghost. I stayed calm. That shocked her more than anger would have. Ethan. Her voice trembled. I nodded once. Simple. Polite. Nothing else. And I swear, that hurt her more than hatred. She stepped closer slowly. You changed. I almost smiled. No, I healed. That sentence broke her instantly. Her eyes filled with tears. I miss you. I looked at her quietly. The old me would have melted. But healing changes your vision. You stop romanticizing pain. She started crying right there in the parking lot. I messed everything up. Cars passed beside us. Rain falling softly. And suddenly she grabbed my jacket desperately. Please talk to me. People nearby started staring. But I stayed composed. Daniel. Her face twisted painfully. We're over. Of course they were. Relationships built on betrayal usually collapse the same way they begin. Then she whispered, I thought you'd always stay. There it was. The truth. Not love. Ownership. She thought my loyalty had no limit. And that realization finally freed me completely. Chapter 10. The Final Confrontation. A week later, Sophia asked to meet one last time. I almost refused, but part of me needed closure. So we met at the rooftop where we used to dream about our future together. The same rooftop, Different people. Sophia looked nervous, hands shaking, eyes red, and for the first time in years, she looked afraid of losing me. Truly afraid. I listened to your old voicemails, she whispered. I stayed silent. She laughed weakly through tears. You sounded so in love with me. Because I was. She stepped closer carefully. I didn't realize how badly I was hurting you. I finally spoke. You knew. Silence. Painful silence. You just didn't think I'd leave. Tears rolled down her face instantly. I hate who I became. I looked at the city lights quietly. Then she pulled something from her bag. A small box. Inside was the necklace I gave her years ago. The cheap silver one from when we were broke. She held it tightly while crying. I should have protected this relationship. Her voice cracked apart completely. But I kept choosing my ego, attention, validation. She covered her mouth while sobbing. And for a second, I mourned her. Not the woman she became. The woman she used to be. Sophia stepped toward me desperately. Please, just tell me there's still a chance. There was. The moment she never believed would happen. The moment she finally became the one begging. And honestly, part of me wanted revenge. Part of me wanted her to suffer exactly how I suffered. But another part of me, the healed part, was simply tired. So I looked her in the eyes and told her the truth. I forgive you. She broke down harder. But I can't love you again. That sentence destroyed her. She grabbed my arm desperately. We can fix this. No, I said softly. You realize my value after losing access to me. Sophia cried uncontrollably now. The kind of crying that comes from genuine regret. And maybe she did regret it. Maybe she truly loved me in her own broken way. But love without respect becomes poison eventually. I gently removed her hand from my arm. And that's when panic filled her face. Real panic. Ethan, please don't walk away. God, those words would have saved us a year ago. But timing matters. People don't realize hearts can die slowly. Mine already had. I hope you heal, I told her quietly. Then I turned around. And this time, I didn't look back. Ending. Final message. Some people don't lose you when they cheat. They lose you when they stop respecting your pain. That was the real ending of our relationship. Not Daniel. Not the live stream. Not the betrayal. It ended the moment Sophia became comfortable watching me suffer. And the hardest lesson I ever learned was this. Love cannot survive where self-respect is constantly sacrificed. You can forgive someone and still choose never to return. You can miss someone and still know they're dangerous for your heart. And sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is stop begging to be loved correctly. Because healing begins the moment you finally realize being chosen late is not the same as being valued from the start. And the scariest part for Sophia, it wasn't losing me. It was realizing I finally learned how to live without her.